Hello and welcome back. Are you ready? Let's get started. Manos a la obra. Let's get down to work. O bien quito el down y también vale. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's start working. Let's get going. I don't want you to be lazy. Sit down and pay attention, but pay careful attention to everything I say. Okay? Now, Blanca, tell me to roll up my right sleeve.
Could you repeat?
I'll think about it, okay? Tell Maria Jesus to tell me to roll up my right sleeve.
Ask him to roll up his right sleeve.
Richard, roll up your right sleeve.
Okay, fine. Now, what am I doing, Blanca?
You are rolling up your right sleeve.
All right, now, tell her to tell me to scratch the back of my hand.
Tell Richard to scratch the back of his hand.
Scratch your back of
the back
of your hand, please.
What am I doing?
You are scratching the back of your hand.
No.
Which?
Oh, sorry.
What am I doing?
You are not scratching the back of your hand.
Fine. Well, what am I doing now?
You are scratching the back of your hand now.
No, now I'm scratching the palm of my hand. And this is the back of my hand.
Really?
Yeah. Yes. Do you know the expression? Conozco Texas como la palma de la mano.
Yes.
¿Cómo se dice en inglés?
I know Texas like the back of my
hand.
hand.
Now, which part of your hand do you usually see the most? The back or the palm? Really, which part of your hand is in your field of vision more?
Well, I would have said it's the front of my hand.
No, this is the back. This is the front. The back and the front. But we say the palm and this is the back. Mm-hmm. A backhand is al revés.
Yeah.
When tennis, or bam. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's a backhand. Okay? Backhand. This is the back of my hand. Okay?
All right.
Ask Blanca if she knows Shanghai like the back of her hand.
Do you know Shanghai like the back of your hand?
No, I don't.
Ask her if she knows Windsor like the back of her hand.
Do you know Windsor like the back of your hand?
Not now.
Ask me if I know Madrid like the back of my hand.
Do you know Madrid like the back of your hand?
Most of Madrid, yes. Ask me if I know Barcelona like the back of my hand.
Do you know Barcelona like the back of your hand?
No, I don't. Certain sections, yes. The famous classical sections of Barcelona, yes, I know like the back of my hand. All right, ask me if I have a favorite restaurant in Barcelona.
Do you have a favorite restaurant in Barcelona?
Yes, I do. Ask me what restaurant is my favorite.
What restaurant is your favorite?
It's called Los Caracoles. Mm-hmm. Ask me if it's the best restaurant in the city.
Is it the best restaurant in the city?
Probably not. Mm-hmm. Okay, they're a lot better, maybe. But the atmosphere is very special. Have you ever been there?
I don't think so.
Ask Blanca if she has ever been there.
Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't.
There. Okay, so who told me to roll up my sleeve, you or Maria Jesus?
Yourself.
No, I didn't tell, no. Somebody told me directly to roll up my right sleeve.
But we follow your order.
I know, but I didn't tell myself.
Okay.
I gave instructions. Who told me to roll up my right sleeve?
Maria Jesus told you to roll up your sleeve.
All right, which sleeve did she tell me to roll up?
She told you
He told
you to roll up your right sleeve.
All right. And who told me to scratch the back of my hand?
Blanca did.
Yes?
I think so.
All right. Now, tell me to roll up the other sleeve.
Please roll up your left sleeve.
What does she want me to do?
She wants you to roll up your left sleeve.
What am I doing?
You're rolling up your sleeve.
Am I rolling it up with my right hand or with my left hand?
You're rolling it up with your right hand.
Yeah. And now I want to talk to the people. Are you rolling up your sleeve too? How do you say that in Spanish? ¿Remangarse? Mm-hmm. ¿Remangar or arremangar? Which do you say?
Remangarse.
Yes? You're not sure?
No.
All right, remangarse con R. Many people say arremangar,
yeah.
Okay? Like arrascar instead of rascar, okay?
Yes.
So, now for you, I want you to roll up your sleeves too. Because in English, we have an expression. And in Spanish, I think you have the same expression. When it's time to start working seriously, you say, we have to roll up our sleeves and start working. And to learn English, you have to roll up your sleeves, okay, to work. And now, what part of my body, ask Blanca what part of my body I am exposing.
Blanca, what part of his body Richard is exposing?
Is
Richard exposing?
Claro.
Yes.
He's exposing his forearms.
Arms.
Forearms.
Forearms. Yes. Ask me how many forearms I have.
How many forearms do you have?
2. I have 2 forearms. Ask me how many foreheads I have.
How many foreheads do you have?
1. Just 1. I have 1 forehead. Ask me if I have a big forehead.
Do you have a big forehead?
Yes, I do. Ask me why.
Why do you have a big forehead?
Because my brain is so big, it needs a big, I need a big space. Okay, ask me if my daughter has a big forehead.
Does your daughter have a big forehead?
Yes, she does, and my son too.
Do you want a Chinese saying?
What's the Chinese saying?
People they have.
People who have.
People who have a big forehead, they are intelligent people.
¿Por qué has dicho they? People who have a big forehead are
Yes.
intelligent people. Does Maria Jesus have a big forehead?
Yes.
She does.
She does.
Do you have a big forehead?
No, I don't.
Come on, let me see your hair.
No, I
Come on.
don't.
You don't? Come on, does she have a big forehead?
I
No.
think it's not small.
No.
It's not small. All right. Ask me if my wife has a big forehead.
Does your wife have a big forehead?
Yes, she does. Ask me if her forehead is bigger than mine.
Is her forehead bigger than yours?
Yo-
Than yours.
Than yours? Yes, it is. Ask me if that means she's more intelligent than me.
Does that mean she's more intelligent than you?
Probably. According to the Chinese proverb, my wife is more intelligent. Ask Blanca if she knows my wife.
Do you know his wife?
Yes, I do.
Ask her if she considers my wife an intelligent person.
Do you consider his wife an intelligent person?
Because she's your wife, of course she is.
Do you think I only marry intelligent people?
I think so.
Ask me if I have ever married a dumb person.
Have you ever married a dumb person?
No, I haven't. Ask me how many people I have married in my life.
How many people have you married in your life?
Just 1. Ask me how long my wife and I have been married.
How long have you been married?
We've been married for almost 30 years. Tell Blanca to ask me when my 30th anniversary is.
Blanca asked Richard when his 30th anniversary is.
When is your 30th wedding anniversary?
Well, it's in a couple of days, okay? So, ask me if it's an important event for me.
Is it an important event for you?
Yes, it is. Ask me what I'm going to do.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to invite her out to the nicest place in Madrid. All right? Ask me if I'm going to give her something.
Are you going to give her something?
Yes. Ask me what.
What are you going to give her?
It's a surprise.
Secret.
I'm supposed to say.
Okay.
These people, they'll tell my wife. Ask me how many people are watching us right. How many people are watching us right now?
How many people are watching us right now?
I have no idea. Ask me how many people I think are watching us.
How many people do you think are watching us?
Approximately 927,300. Okay. I have no idea. About 1 million.
All right.
About 1 million. Ask me if that camera makes me nervous.
Does that camera make you nervous?
Yes.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Ask
It
me why.
doesn't.
Why does it make you nervous?
Because I only see the camera lens. Lente, we say el objetivo. And ask me if there's anybody behind the camera.
Is there anybody behind the camera?
A lot of good friends are behind the camera. Ask me how many friends I have sitting or standing behind the camera.
How many friends do you have
Sitting?
behind the camera?
About 1 million.
All right.
Yeah. Ask me if I like all of them.
Do you like all of them?
I like all of them except maybe about 4 or 5. Okay, who are probably watching. No, I like all of them. Okay. Ask me if I have ever met a student I didn't like.
Have you ever met a student you didn't like?
Yes, I have. Ask me if I have had problems with a lot of my students.
Have you had a lot of problems with a lot of students?
No, I haven't. All right. No, the vast majority. How do you say la inmensa mayoría?
The vast majority.
Vast.
Vast majority.
La vasta con V. Mayoría se dice mucho en inglés. Aquí decís la inmensa mayoría. The vast majority of my students are outstanding people. They don't learn, but they're outstanding people. Tell Blanca to ask me if I remember the first student I had in my life.
Blanca asked Richard if he remembers the first student he had in his life.
Do you remember the first student you had in your life?
Yes, I do. Ask me what his name was.
What was his name?
His name was Julio Cesar Ruiz. Ask me where he was from.
Where was he from?
He was from Argentina. Ask me how old he was.
How old was he?
He was about 12 years old. Ask me how old I was.
How old were you?
I was about 17 years old. Asked me what method I used.
What method did you use?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, a book in English. Asked me if I knew how to teach when I was 17.
Did you know how to teach when you were 17?
No, I didn't. Okay. But asked me when I started teaching seriously.
When did you start teaching seriously?
When I was 22. Asked me if I remember my first real class.
Do you remember your first real class?
My first real class? Yes, I do. I remember. Don't worry. It's okay. It's okay. Yes, your English is very good, Blanca. I'm sorry. Do you get upset when I pull your leg?
No, because it's come from you.
It comes from me. Oh, God. No necesito abuela.
No.
¿Cómo es el dicho? Con Blanca no necesito abuela?
Yes.
All right.
That's right.
Okay. I remember my first class, yes. I remember my first class, and I remember who it was with. Ask me what the name of my first student was in Spain.
What was the name of your first student in Spain?
I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Meledo, Mr. Meledo. Ask me if I think Mr. Meledo remembers my class.
Do you think Mr. Melero remembers your class?
Probably not. But ask me if he enjoyed it.
Did he enjoy it?
Yes, he did. Tell Blanca to ask me if he realized I was a novice.
Ask Richard if his student realized he was a novice.
Did your student realize that you were novice?
A novice.
A novice.
No.
A novice.
Eso. Se escribe novice. Y viene de la misma raíz que novicio o novicia, pero aquí decís novato. Para uno que está muy verde en la enseñanza, en este caso en la enseñanza. Yes, he realized I was a novice. Asked me if he liked the class.
Did he like the class?
Yes, he did. Asked me if he said anything to me at the end of the class.
Did he say anything to you at the end of the class?
Yes, he did. Asked me what he said, María Jesús.
What did he say?
He said, buena clase. He said, that was a good class. Eres nuevo en esto, no? I said, yes, but I know what a class. It was a good class. All right. Asked me how many more classes I gave him.
How many more classes did you give him?
None.
No?
None. None. Ninguna.
I know.
None. Ask
Why
me
not?
why. Tell her to ask me why I didn't give him any more classes.
Blanca asked Richard why he didn't give him any more classes.
Why didn't you give him any more classes?
Because the academy where I was working was changing the teachers to different students every day. Yeah. And I never saw him again. Asked me if I would have liked to have continued with him.
Would you have liked to have continued with him?
Yes, I would. I would have liked to have continued with him. Asked me if he was a lot older than me.
Was he a lot older than you?
Well, it depends. At that time, I was 22. Asked me how old he was.
How old was he?
Probably about 40. Asked me what level he had.
What level he had?
¿Me lo quieres preguntar?
What level did he have?
Good. What does she want to know?
She wants to know what level he had.
I don't remember, but I think it was about intermediate level, or low intermediate level. Asked me if I had trouble getting through the class, the first class.
Did you have trouble getting through the first class?
Not too much, but I needed to think intensely to get through the first class. All right? And asked me if I ran into an obstacle.
Did you run into an obstacle?
An obstacle.
An obstacle.
Yes, at one point I ran into an obstacle. All right, but I managed to solve the question. All right, and asked me how long it took me to learn how to teach.
How long did it take you to learn how to teach?
It took me about 2 years to learn how to teach well. Asked me how long it took me to learn how to play tennis.
How long did it take you to
learn?
learn how to play tennis?
To learn?
To learn how to
Learn.
how to play tennis.
Learn es una sola sílaba y pam. Learn. No lo largues con una. Hay dos vocales ahí en medio, A. Pero no alargues. Learn. 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 It took me. It's easy. Tennis is easy to learn. To play tennis relatively well took me about 2 or 3 months. Asked me how long it took me to learn how to play golf.
How long did it take you to learn how to play golf?
To play well, it took me about 5 years. It takes a long time to learn how to play golf. Asked me how long it took me to learn how to play chess. Ajedrez.
How long did it take you to learn how to play chess?
Well, to play decent chess, it took me probably about a year to learn how to play decent chess. Asked me how long it took me to learn how to teach on the television.
How long did it take you to learn how to teach on television?
Nothing. It was easy. Asked me why I didn't need time to learn how to teach on TV.
Why didn't you need time to learn how to teach
On TV.
On TV.
Because when I started teaching on TV, I had already taught 30,000 hours. Ask me how many hours of class I have given in my life.
How many hours of class have you given in your life?
About 35,000 hours. Ask me if I remember every single one.
Do you remember every single one?
No, I don't. No, thank God. All right, I would be a prodigious memory, okay, if I remembered. Ask me if I remember any certain students in particular.
Do you remember any certain students in particular?
Yes, I do. Ask me who my favorite student is.
Who is your favorite student?
The best student I ever had was a man who was 57 years old when he started with me. Ask me how old I was when I met him.
How old were you when you met him?
Let's see, I met him in September 1976, so I was 24. I was 24 when I met him. Ask me how old he was.
How old was he?
He was 57. So what was the age difference?
You were 24.
I was 24, he was 57.
So 33.
33 years. He's very fast, eh? There was a 33-year difference. Okay? Ask me if I used usted with him.
Did you use usted with him?
Of course. Okay, ask me how long he was my student.
How long was he your student?
He was my student for about 3 years. Ask me if I enjoyed the class.
Did you enjoy the class?
Yes, I did. Ask me why.
Why did you enjoy the class?
Well, for 2 reasons. Number 1 is he progressed very well. Number 2, he was a very pleasant and funny man. Very funny man, all right? 57. Ask me what he did for a living.
What did he do for a living?
He was a military man. He was in the military. Ask me if he was in the Air Force.
Was he in the Air Force?
No, he wasn't. Ask me what branch of the military he was in.
What branch of the military was he in?
He was in the Army. And ask me what his rank was. Ask me if he was a captain.
Was he the captain?
A captain.
Was he a captain?
No, he wasn't. Ask me if he was a lieutenant.
Was he a lieutenant?
No, he wasn't. Ask me what his rank was.
What was his rank?
He was a colonel. Coronel. He was a colonel. Okay? And ask me what his English level was when I met him.
What was his English level when you met him?
He was a beginner. Ask me if he knew any words in English.
Did he know any words in English?
No, he didn't. In fact, Blanca, he didn't know if the negation in English was no, or niet, or nein. You understand?
Yes.
He didn't know. How do you say no in Chinese?
不.
¿Cómo?
不. No, not in this funny way.
Well, that's the way you do it. Poo.
不.
Poo.
Yes.
How do you say yes in Chinese?
是.
Say it again.
是.
Je. That's tough. Like French, je. Je. Like je suis, je. Is that correct?
No, it's not.
Say it again.
是.
All right, my God.
You have to roll up your tongue.
For example, if I ask you in Chinese, is your name Pedro?
不.
Okay, very good. All right. This is an interesting class. Maybe we should change to Chinese. How do you say the pen is on the table?
这支笔在桌上.
Forget it. I think my next life, en mi próxima vida,
You will
me
speak
enseñas.
Chinese.
Okay, I
My
will be
God.
very demanding with you.
How do you say I'm holding the microphone?
我拿着麦克风.
How do you say microphone in
麦
Chinese?
克风.
Microphone. All right, very good. Okay, and how do you say pen?
笔.
B starts with a P, not bad. Okay, now, my student didn't know any English. Ask me how long it took him to reach an intermediate level.
How long did it take him to reach the intermediate level?
Intermediate.
An intermediate level.
Escucha. How long did it take him to reach an intermediate level?
How long did it take him to reach an intermediate level?
Muy bien. All right, it took him about 1 year. Ask me if I was surprised with his progress.
Were you surprised with his progress?
Yes, I was. Ask me how many hours of class a day he received.
How many hours of class did he receive every day?
He received 2 hours a day. Okay, so after 1 year, well, after 10 months perhaps, 2 hours a day is 40 times 400 hours. quite a few hours. Asked me if he did a lot of homework.
Did he do a lot of homeworks?
Homework.
Homework.
Siempre en singular. Homework. Más R.
Homework.
Yes, he did. Asked me what kind of homework he did.
What kind of homework did he do?
All kinds, but especially listening. Asked me if I gave him tapes.
Did you give him tapes?
Yes, cassette tapes. Asked me what the tapes were about.
What was the tapes about?
The tapes were about different stories, simple stories in English. I read the stories directly onto a tape for him. This is in 1977, 1978, in prehistoric times. It was not so easy to have audio-visual material or audio material. So I remember reading a story about two dolphins, delfines, about two dolphins, and filling a complete tape with my voice. Fa and B were dolphins. Fa was a boy dolphin and B was a girl dolphin, okay? And I read it to him and asked me when he listened to the tape.
When did he listen to the tape?
Every night when he went to bed, he got into bed and he put on the tape and he turned it on, okay? And then when he finished, he turned it off and went to sleep. Asked me if he ever went to sleep with the tape on.
Did he ever go to sleep with the tape on?
Once he did, all right? Asked me if he was a little hard of hearing.
Was he a little hard of hearing?
Duro oído? A little. So he turned the tape high and he had the earplugs in his ear. Asked me what his wife's name was.
What was his wife's name?
Her name was Julita, all right? Asked me if Julita spoke English.
Did Julita speak English?
No, she didn't, all right?
After all the listenings, probably she did.
No, but he was wearing earplugs.
All right, yes.
You see, Julita and Jose Mari got into bed at night, and she went to bed, and he was listening to the story about the dolphin, but loud, okay? But one time he fell asleep, and it was on, and he turned like this, and the connection into the cassette came out,
Yeah.
and my voice was filling the room. And Julita says, "Hi, Jose Mari, alguien está aquí." It was me talking about dolphins, okay? So that's the story. Asked me if he reached a good level.
Did he reach a good level?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And asked me if I still have contact with him.
Do you still have contact with him?
No, I don't. Asked me if I have lost contact.
Have you lost the contact?
No se dice así.
Have you lost contact with him?
Siempre. To lose contact, to gain contact, to make contact. All right? Yes, I've lost contact with him. And asked me when the last time was I saw him.
When was the last time you saw him?
So? No,
Saw
no he
him.
cocido nunca.
You saw him.
Saw.
Saw him.
¿Cómo se dice la ley?
The law.
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 Crudo, como carne cruda.
Raw.
Raw. ¿Y B?
I saw.
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 Coser?
Saw.
So. All right. Okay. So the last time I saw him was in the 80s, in the 1980s. Okay. Asked me if I have ever mentioned him publicly since then.
Have you ever mentioned him publicly since then?
Yes, I have. Asked me when I mentioned him.
When did you mention him?
I mentioned him very recently in an article in a magazine. All right. In a Sunday supplement of one of the daily newspapers, and asked me if he made contact with me.
Did he make contact with you?
No, he didn't. So I don't know anything about him. Asked me if I would like to see him again.
Would you like to see him again?
Yes, I would. All right. Asked me how old he would be now if I met him.
How old would he be now if you met him?
Well, let's see. He was 57 in 1976. That's 31 years ago. It's 57, so he would be 88 now. All right. Asked me how old my grandfather would be if he were still alive.
How old would your grandfather be if he was still alive? If he still was
If he were.
If he were still alive.
Si todavía estuviera. Were.
If he were still alive.
My father's father, my paternal grandfather, if he were still alive today, he would be, let's see, he was born in 1890, so he would be 118 years old. Quite old. Well, we have to go. You have to go. I'm going to stay for a few more minutes. I'm going to stay, so you can take a break, but I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. But in the meantime, I want to say goodbye to Blanca. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. and to Maria Jesus.
Thank
A
you.
real pleasure. And I'll see you in a few minutes, so don't go away.